Good afternoon, and welcome to WATD's Powerful Women Revealed. You're invited to enjoy an ongoing series of uplifting, educational, and intimate discussions with local, powerful women that have all made the commitment to take their businesses and organizations to a higher level. These entrepreneurs have turned their dreams into reality. They work hard, outshine, and they mean business. These women reveal and share their inspirations, milestones, and successes with your host, Nicole Perry.
Good afternoon. I'm your host, Nicole Perry, and you're listening to Powerful Women Revealed. Today, our topic is about career, and in some cases, many women have encore careers. I had the pleasure of hearing my guest speak at the South Shore Women's Business Network breakfast back in September. She is a Channel 7 investigative reporter and now award-winning author. HankPhillippiRyan, welcome to the show.
Hi, Nicole. How are you?
I am doing great.
This is great. I love the introduction of powerful women. I thought, oh, that's nice. I don't think of myself that way.
And revealed. Powerful women revealed.
The scary part.
Yeah, well, no, that's the good part. That's the juicy part. So now, as an investigative reporter, you've earned over 30 Emmys. Is it 32?
It's 32. Is that not funny? My study, you should see, is very nice. I get a little tear in my eye when I look at all those shiny statues. And we worked hard for those.
Yes.
My producers and photographers and editors and we worked hard for those. And they've made a lot of difference in people's lives. I mean, the Emmys themselves, that's the statue, and it's gorgeous and it's fun and it's glamorous to go accept them. But, you know, they're a symbol of change. Every one of those Emmys, every one of those 32 Emmys is a secret that someone didn't want me to tell.
Well, and the change is the new laws, the criminals being sent to prison, the actual homes removed from foreclosure, which we might talk a little bit more about that later. But how much time do you still devote to being an investigative reporter?
Oh, that's my job, being an investigative reporter. It's a lot to juggle being an author and an investigative reporter, and we'll talk about that. But I've been a television reporter since 1975.
Yes.
I mean, is that almost 40 years?
I don't know.
TV reporters can't do math. You know. And so it's been quite a career, and I still look forward to it every day. I still am always looking for the next great story. Sometimes people ask, what's the best story you've ever done? And I say, I think it's still to come.
Now, you don't do, what was it called, your little show, your gig that you don't do anymore?
Oh, well,
Help Me, Hank.
Help Me, Hank. You know,
But you still can call. You have an 800 number that you can call. I almost called you one time.
What can I do for you?
Well, I can't talk about it now on the air. My husband will kill me. But yeah, so you're
now that would be Nicole revealed. You see, that's what we
there
have to
you
do.
go. There you go.
I have various franchises at Channel 7, and I have over the years. Hank Investigates is the overarching umbrella for every investigative story. Hank Investigates is what we call it. You know, I've done The Real Deal, and I've done Money Mondays, and I've done Help Me, Hank, and it's all the same. It can, whether it's consumer or business or investigative reporting, it's all about telling a fabulous story that's exclusive that nobody has done before. So, television, radio, newspapers, we have different titles for different things, but it's all, the core of it is good, solid investigative reporting.
Yes, which is factual. Yeah, I'm not good with the facts.
Oh, that's a problem. That's a problem for a reporter. No, we're all about the facts, and that's one of the things that's so fascinating about it. You know, the following leads and tracking down clues and digging deep and doing research.
Yes.
And, the one thing that can't happen to you as a reporter, you can never be wrong. I can never be wrong. Mm-hmm. I can never be 1 minute late. I can never get someone's name wrong. I can never choose the wrong word. I can never miscalculate.
And you put that in your book, The Other Woman. No, wait a minute. This is the first one of the two that I purchased. So yes, she could never be wrong, and she was found wrong.
Exactly.
Yeah, we can't reveal too much about the book, though.
Well, go ahead. In the Other Woman, you're right about that. In The Other Woman, what I wanted to do, and we can talk about that at some point too, is this is the first in a series of thrillers, and the main character is an investigative reporter.
Yes.
But the point of it is not only a good thrilling murder mystery and a good summer read, but it's to let readers know what it's really like to be a reporter, the high stresses and the high stakes. And if you're an honorable, serious, determined reporter, that's not glamorous. There is nothing that is like the movies
It's clear.
in being a real television reporter. And you have a lot at stake. I mean, people's reputations and lives are on the line, not to mention your own. I've been yelled at and stalked and followed, and people have come to my house and sent mean letters and threatened me with all kinds of things. Because, imagine if I call you and I say, "Hi, it's HankPhillippiRyan," you're not going to be happy.
Yeah.
That's not going to be a phone call you want. And I had an executive producer once who said, a good investigative reporter comes to town and stays till everyone hates them. You know what I mean? Because my goal is, I'm going to make.
And you're so delightful and you're so lovely. And yet.
Well, my goal is to change the world. Just a small thing. So, but if people are doing something that's criminal or wrong or unfair or hurting someone else, my job is to make that public. And the person who's doing that isn't going to love that. And they're going to say it's my fault, not their fault.
And now, as an author, you've earned 12 Edward R. Murrow Awards.
That's for television reporting, yes.
Oh, okay. What am I thinking?
Well,
you've won the Agatha Award.
Well, I'm delighted to talk about this.
You have many.
Nicole,
There's too many to keep track of. There is too many.
I know them all very, very well. The Edward R. Murrow Awards and the Emmy Awards are for investigative reporting, and that's phenomenal. That is the industry realizing that we have caused change, that we have made a difference, that we're intrepid, good reporters, and that's what we work for. You can't win those awards unless a change has occurred as a result of the investigations that you've done. So.
We've won
fabulous.
them here at WATD.
Oh,
they have won.
I see your lobby is just full of these. And so it makes a difference. And you know how hard people work, and you know how devoted, how much time of your life has to be devoted to your job. I work all the time. And I love it. I absolutely embrace it. People have asked me, what do you do in your downtime? And I'm like, I'm not too good at that.
So you're writing? Are you writing in your downtime?
Yeah, and I call that uptime. That's I have to juggle the two lives as an investigative reporter and as an author and being on book tour, and it's a lot to juggle. I embrace it thoroughly. It is the joy of my life. I walk outside and I just laugh and I think I can't believe how lucky I am. But
how did you feel when you first won your first award for being an author?
Oh my goodness. The first award I ever won as an author was the Agatha, named after Agatha Christie, for Best First Mystery for my first book, which is called Primetime, still available. And
all four of those series are still available.
Yes, there's Primetime, FaceTime, Airtime, and Drive Time. And they're fun, fast-paced, based in Boston murder mysteries. If someone likes Lisa Scottolini, Tess Gerritsen, Sue Grafton, those kinds, they're page-turning vacation books. The Agatha is the premier award given for the traditional mystery. So no graphic violence.
Yes, I love it.
No graphic sex, but just a smart, fair, authentic, solid traditional mystery. And I burst into tears when I won. This is...
You grew up reading Agatha Christie.
Absolutely. And when I won, I think I was 55. It was 10 years ago. And to have this honor, sort of the newbie honor at age 55 was a completely life-changing moment for me. It let me know that I could do this, that I could have a second act.
Well, even if you didn't win the award, I think you kind of knew. You had a love for it.
Well, it was unexpected. I had wanted to write mysteries ever since I was a little girl and just never had a good idea for a plot, which is a problem. You need that good story. Every reporter knows you need a good story.
But your ability to mix the facts and the fiction.
It turned out that you're exactly right. But I didn't know that when I started. So one day at the station, I had a really good idea. I was working at Channel 7. I got an email, and when I read it, I thought it was a spam. Do we have time to tell you this?
Well, we have about another minute, and then we can continue.
Let me tell you this quickly then. I got an email. It was clearly a spam. It said, a new refinancing deal for you. But in the body of the email was what looked like lines from a play by Shakespeare. And I thought, why would there be lines from Shakespeare in a spam that goes to 1 million people? And I thought, maybe it's a secret message. And then I thought, oh, secret messages in spam. My book, my book. And that was the beginning of Primetime.
Oh, wow. That was the beginning of Primetime. Love it. All right. Well, we are going to go to a break. We are with Channel 7 investigative reporter and now award-winning author HankPhillippiRyan. I hope you'll stay with us. My name is Nicole Perry. I'm your host, and you're listening to Powerful Women Revealed right here on 95.9 WATD. And welcome back to Power. I'm Nicole Perry, and we are with HankPhillippiRyan. And she just gave us a little snippet of how her idea for Prime Time came about. I do want to mention the 3 books that are out now, and well, 2 that are out now. That one's coming out. The Other Woman won the 2013 Mary Higgins Clark Award. The Wrong Girl, which I'm in the middle of reading right now, halfway through, is the winner of the 2013 Agatha Award for Best Contemporary Novel. And recently you just won the Daphne, I don't even know how to say that.
Oh, Daphne du Maurier Award for Best Mystery Suspense of the Year.
Yes.
Nicole, it is amazing to have The Wrong Girl win the Agatha and the Daphne. That just doesn't happen. And it's such a vote of confidence from readers and from the judges in mystery and suspense world to have them give their stamp of approval for this. The Agatha Award is named after Agatha Christie, obviously the queen of mystery and suspense, and the Daphne after Daphne du Maurier, who wrote Rebecca and who has captivated readers, ever since her first novel years and years and years ago.
And you said that this just doesn't happen. What doesn't happen?
To have this multiple wins, the multiple acclaim for the same book. There are hundreds of mysteries, maybe thousands published a year, and to have The Wrong Girl selected for both of these honors is just, I flew home from Washington, D.C., where I got the Agatha, but I honestly didn't need the airplane. I'm still floating from winning that. So,
and now you have a new book launching in October 7th, Truth Be Told. I can't wait.
Well, I love Truth Be Told. And the funny thing about it is when we titled The Other Woman, the first book in the Jane Ryland series, and let me just tell you quickly, the books are fast-paced, locally based page turners. They're published
definitely
by Forge, which is part of Macmillan, and they're beautiful, and the covers are beautiful, and I wish all of you listeners could see them. They're gorgeous. So,
well, they will be able to see them because we're videotaping today. So here we go. There's the Other Woman.
Hold it up nicely.
And The Wrong Girl.
So let me show you then when I saw the cover of this, I thought, oh, it's beautiful, it's beautiful. Then I realized it said HankPhillippiRyan, the other woman.
Exactly.
And then this one says HankPhillippiRyan, the wrong girl.
Now, you couldn't name the next one something to do with a lady or, I was trying to think of that myself.
Well, it's interesting because titling a book is always tricky. And it has to be memorable, and it has to, and I write a series of standalones. You can read these books in any order. It doesn't matter. You don't have to read The Other Woman first. But I was thinking about calling Truth Be Told The Good Liar, which would have been HankPhillippiRyan, The Good Liar.
Oh, geez, that would have been great.
It would have, but we wanted to get away from having it be, having the title be forced. So what would we call book 4? What would we call book 5? And at some point...
Because you are writing another one, I'm sure,
I should be home writing it right now.
Okay.
So we wanted to pick a title that was meaningful and felt like a Hank title, but wasn't cookie cutter copy of the others. So Truth Be Told, and now it says HankPhillippiRyan, Truth Be Told.
I
so
love that.
Got it. Can't go wrong with that. So I'm very pleased with these. As I said, if you like Lisa Scottolini, Tess Gerritsen, Harlan Coben, Linwood Barclay, those kinds of smart, authentic, fair, riveting suspense.
Classy. Classy without the graphic. It's, just gratuitous now, and you don't need it.
There are a lot of books that are really creepy, and I don't like to fill my brain with something that is so negative. Now, of course, that's silly because my books are murder mysteries, so
Well,
people die. But
exactly.
but it's my books are about conspiracy and manipulation and deception and deceit and lying and that kind of thing. They're not about serial killers. So there are many different kinds of mysteries. The genres in the mystery world are there's a huge spectrum. From the noirest of noir to the coziest of cozies. And my books are in the middle of that. People who live in New England will recognize the setting, the State House and Boston Common and Boston Drivers and saving a place with your saving a parking place with your chair. And, we'll be driving, Jonathan and I, my husband, will be driving along the Mass Pike and I'll say, oh, exit 17. This is where Jane was chased by the bad guy.
Oh,
and then I think, oh no, I made that up.
Yeah.
So they're very realistic.
Now tell me about I want to talk about your investigative reporting and how you were a newbie. But before we go there, how are the characters? Are you rolling? Because these two books, the characters continue. And I haven't read the prime time through the drive time, but those have a single character that is throughout those.
So prime time, the 4 prime time books, and those are coming back, and there will be more of those. So I'm very excited about that. Star Charlotte McNally. Charlie McNally is a 46-year-old television reporter in Boston who's worried that she's getting too old for her job and that people will not want her on TV anymore because she's 46. So she wonders what happens to someone who's married to her job in television when the camera doesn't love her anymore. These books are funny. I mean, they're humorous mysteries. The second series of books stars Jane Ryland. Jane Ryland is a 33-year-old television reporter who's just starting out in her career. She's smart and she's savvy and she's successful, but she's new. She's a newer reporter and she's still trying to make her way in the world and make her career and decide about her priorities and decide if she's going to spend her life devoted to her job or whether she's going to have a personal life. Because often reporters who are career-oriented don't have time for a personal life. They almost don't have time for friends. It's a very solitary existence.
It's clear in the book when you're reading.
Being an investigative reporter. And it also stars, so the books that begin with The Other Woman star Jane Ryland, this 33-year-old reporter, and also Jake Brogan, who is a 30-something Boston police detective. Jake is cool and he's smart, and he's been promoted to detective early because his grandfather was the police commissioner, and his colleagues are not too happy about that. So two things put Jane and Jake have in common. One is they're both new to their jobs. They're 30-something and they're making their way in their careers, and they have something to prove. They need to prove that they have the right stuff to succeed as a detective and as a reporter. They're also madly in love with each other.
I love their characters.
Thank you. But it can't come to fruition because Jane can't be dating a source. That is a conflict of interest. And Jake can't be dating a reporter. If there were a leak in the newspaper or in television, Jake would be the first person to be blamed.
And the sexual tension between the two of them, I love because it's very classy. It's very classy.
Thank you.
Now, so getting back to your investigative reporting, how did you feel when you first were starting out in your career, and once you became sort of a seasoned reporter, how did you treat the new people that were coming on board?
Oh, that is such a good question. When I started in television in 1975, the depth of how much I didn't know what I was doing was enormous. I mean, I had never worked in television. I had never gone to journalism school. I had been a radio reporter, as a matter of fact, for about 6 months.
Oh, yeah, I read that.
And I got that job because they didn't have any women working at the station. I mean, I went in and I applied for the job, and the news director said, well, why should we hire you? You don't have any experience. And I said, yeah, I know, but I really want to be a reporter, and your license is up for renewal at the FCC.
Love it.
And you don't have any women working here.
Love it.
And the next day I had my first job in broadcasting.
I love it.
And when I think about the nerve that it took to do that, I'm not sure I would do that now. It wouldn't work now anyway, obviously, as we all know. But so I got my first job by having a lot of nerve, by walking through a door, seeing an opportunity, and not being afraid to try, not being afraid to try. And I think that on my bulletin board now is a motto that says "Leap and the net will appear." And I
love that.
think that is something that we all need to think about. We are held back by fear. We are stopped by fear.
We're fear-based. We live fear-based.
And
Not me. I try not to.
I try not to also. Sue Grafton and I have talked about this, and Sue Grafton says you have to eat the death cookie. And what that means is you have to think, what's the worst thing that could possibly happen? Would I be okay if that happened? I'd be okay.
Exactly.
So I'm going to go for it. And it really makes a huge difference.
It does. All right. Well, I hope you'll stay with us. We're going to go to a quick break. We're with HankPhillippiRyan, Channel 7 investigative reporter and award-winning author. She's got a new book coming out, so stay with us. I'm Nicole Perry, and you're listening to Powerful Women Revealed right here on 95.9 WATD. And welcome back to Power. We are with HankPhillippiRyan, and we were just talking about your start as a newbie reporter. Once you became seasoned, how did you treat other newbies themselves when they came on board? The
whole idea that we can be part of someone else's new career is such a joy.
Yeah.
In mystery world and in television world, it happens. My book, The Other Woman, won the Mary Higgins Clark Award. Mary Higgins Clark, the doyenne, the queen of suspense, has this award that she gives every year to an author who she is trying to help. I mean, this is marvelous. This is wonderful. This is her giving back. I remember when I started in television, I arrived at my television station the first day of work, and there, those little pink while you were out slips.
Oh, yeah.
There was one on my typewriter, that's how long ago it was, that said, "Expletive you, Hank, we don't want you here." That was my welcome. That was my welcome to television. And I vowed from that moment that, they didn't want a woman. They didn't want the new person. They didn't want me there. They didn't know me. It wasn't personal. It was just that I had invaded their territory. And I vowed from that moment that I would never be anything but welcoming to someone who is new. There's a wonderful quote from the Tao Te Ching. Lao Tzu says, "What is a good man but a bad man's teacher?" And it shows us that, when someone is new or when they have no idea what they're doing, that our whole task in life is to open doors for them and help them. We were all new once. We know how that feels. In my first job in television, I went home every night for 2 weeks and sobbed because I had no idea what I was doing. And the idea, two things about that really quickly. One is in television, I got taken under the wing of a photographer, a guy named Walt, who, he was cool, and he was in his 30s and I was in my 20s. And he literally took me out and said, "Stand here, say this, do this. This is how you look at the camera. This is how you hold the microphone." He told me everything. I was so grateful that I introduced him to my sister, and they got married.
I love that.
So
I love that.
I'm not suggesting that you do that. That's not what a mentor needs to do. But I worked at Rolling Stone magazine for a little while in Washington, D.C., and one day I had lunch with my father, who worked in Washington, D.C. at the time. And I said, "Dad, every day is very strange at this job." I said, "I go to work and I have no idea what I'm doing. How am I? That's awful." And he says, "Oh, honey, that's how everybody feels." And I said, "Everybody is making it up as they go?" And he said, "Yeah, everybody's making it up as they go." And I thought, oh my goodness, it's not me who feels lost. If it's everyone who's making it up as they go, fine, I'm willing to take that path. And so again, as we were talking about, it's fear. Again, it's, I have so many people, interns and people who are now madly successful, who say, "I remember that time you told me X, Y, and Z."
Yeah.
And sometimes I think, I did. Well, that was smart. When you told me not to be afraid. You told me it's okay to ask questions. You told me it's okay to ask for help. You told me never to take anything, not even a cup of coffee. You taught me how to do research. And you're just trying to deal with someone the way you'd want them to deal with you if you were new. And it's about love, and it's about respect, and it's about honoring someone else's efforts, exactly how you'd want them to deal with you.
And I feel like you're a giver. You're obviously a giver. You give back to the community by doing all of the investigative reporting. And now I feel like you're giving back again in a leisure way. But really, you're a giver, and it's about giving.
Well, you know what? It's interesting. I think about investigative reporting, and I think about writing my crime fiction, sort of the way it's like cooking. You get to put together things from your imagination, take various ingredients from one place and ingredients from another place, and put it together in something brand new, right? You get to create something. And then, but part of the fun of the creation, not to stretch this metaphor like crazy, but is then you get to give it to someone else. Here, I made this meal for you. I made this cake for you. I made this book for you. I made this story for you. And I think that the stories and the books aren't fulfilled until the reader or viewer sees or reads them. That's what they're meant to be. That's what the books, that's their destiny, is to be shared. And so I think in television reporting and in writing, that's the whole key of it. And in our lives, that's the key of it. You know, we don't do what we do by ourselves in the bubble. We do it to connect with other people and let people know, I'm here with you, I care about you, I'm in it with you, let me do something for you.
I totally am in alignment with everything that you're saying. Let's talk about Truth Be Told. Now, what can you reveal about the book?
You're so good at asking. Truth Be Told is, as I said, you can read the Jane Ryland books in any order. It's the third Jane Ryland book.
I'm already excited.
Wonderful.
And Jake is going to be in the book as well.
Jake is in the book. Of course, Jake is in the book. It's funny because, well, let me tell you about Truth Be Told, and then I'll tell you about the next one. But Truth Be Told comes from real life. It's sort of a puzzle put together of 4 pieces of real life. And quickly I'll tell you that one of them stems from a story that we referred to earlier, about a story we did about the foreclosure crisis, and how people are being evicted from their homes, and how people are losing their homes unnecessarily. So the first element is about a rogue banker turned Robin Hood who decides she's going to keep people out of foreclosure by manipulating their mortgage records. And making it look like they paid. So that,
my God,
I know, which has this small problem of being illegal and robbing the bank. So she's robbing the bank from the inside.
How did you come up with that?
I don't know. I don't know. You know, that's the writer magic. That's the imagination that that writers and musicians and reporters and artists have.
Well, it stems from you helping all of these consumers and victims, and then you just sort of started toying with different things from there.
You take real life and you say, well, what if it happened another way? What if this was what happened? What if you inject it with a little adrenaline, and you inject it with a little excitement, and you add a little twist here and there, and you make it into I mean, we all have had the joy of having, you know, when we were little, you remember what it was like, and someone put us on their laps and said, once upon a time.
Yes.
And the world fell away, and you were somewhere else. You were transported. And that's what I try to do in these books. In The Wrong Girl and The Other Woman and Truth Be Told coming up, I envision people on airplanes reading them, being sad when they arrive at their destination because they think, oh, I just want one more chapter, one more chapter. So Truth Be Told is about a mortgage banker turned Robin Hood who's saving people from foreclosure. It's about a man who confesses to a 20-year-old cold case, the Lilac Sunday murder that took place in Arnold Arboretum. Fiction.
Okay.
And why would somebody confess to a 20-year-old cold case? Why would they do that? And that came
and there's a story behind that, I'm sure.
That came, my husband is a criminal defense attorney, and that came from a case that he had where a man confessed to a murder, and it turned out that he didn't do it. And why? Why would someone do that? Why would someone confess to a murder that he didn't commit? So in my book, in Truth Be Told, we don't know yet. I'm not going to tell you whether he actually committed the murder. It's also about a reporter who makes stuff up. And that is so insidious because, you know, we all know the cases. in the Washington Post and other outlets where a reporter has been discovered as making stuff up. And think about it.
That is crazy.
It's creepy because, I thought about how as reporters, we're really writing history. We're writing the documentation of what really happened. And at some point, what if you just made up a little bit? What if you just made up what someone said?
Well, you lose trust.
Well, what if someone said, it doesn't really matter if I go interview somebody you could talk yourself, not you, but one could talk themselves into, if I just make up a quote, it won't matter. And then I'll just make up 2 quotes and it won't matter. And no one will know.
Yeah, they will eventually.
We don't know, do we? And so the book is also about the risk of taking the truth, truth be told is the title, of taking the truth and changing it. And how far can you go before it's a disaster?
Okay.
And the trust that people have to have in reporters, that what they read and what they hear is real. What if it isn't?
Okay. Well, we're going to have to go to a quick break, and we are going to come right back with HankPhillippiRyan. I'm Nicole Perry, and you're listening to Power right here on 95.9 WATD. And welcome back to Power. I'm Nicole Perry, and my guest is HankPhillippiRyan, and we were just talking about Truth Be Told, and we do want to mention that The Wrong Girl and The Other Woman are both available now in paperback.
The paperbacks come out a year after the hardcovers come out, so The Wrong Girl is just out in paperback now, so I'm so delighted. I imagine people on the beach with that. It's all right to get sand in the pages.
Oh, I get sand in my hardcover book. I'm okay with that. Now, I do want to ask you about your involvement with Mystery Writers of America University. Am I saying that right? And also the 2013, you are the president of National Sisters in Crime. What do those associations mean to you, and how do they inspire you?
Well, it's so interesting because I am really the poster child for following your dreams in midlife. I didn't start writing till I was 55. I'm almost 65 now, if you can believe that.
You look beautiful.
Thank you. So if there's anyone out there who is thinking about something that they'd love to do, whether it write their book or learn how to quilt or learn Italian or start a new business or start a new job, it's so important to me to present myself as the reason, the proof that this can work.
Yes.
I just don't want people to wake up in the morning and think, 10 years from now, I could have done that. I could have done that. I could have tried that. So I'm here to say, go ahead. It can't hurt. What can you lose? If you just give it a try, if you just follow your dreams. And Mystery Writers of America University and Sisters in Crime are all part of a path that I never even imagined that I would be on. When I started writing Primetime so long ago, not really that long ago, when I started writing Primetime, whenever it was, 2007, to be president of National Sisters in Crime.
Yeah.
I mean, this is Nancy Pickard and Margaret Maron and Sarah Paretsky, and icons in mystery world have preceded me as president of National Sisters in Crime, which is an organization that was formed because women were writing many of the mysteries and certainly buying many of the mysteries, but not getting any attention, not getting reviewed, not getting noticed, not getting acknowledged. And so our job when it was formed 25 years ago was to make sure that women got a fair shake, women mystery authors got a fair shake in publishing world. And as president, I even changed the mission statement because I think that we've succeeded so well now. So the struggle is over and, almost over. And now we're just happy to perpetuate the status of women in mysteries. We have won. You don't think of women as second-class citizens in mystery world at all now, and that's partly due to the work of Sisters in Crime over the past 25 years or so. Mystery Writers of America is a 60-year-old organization that's devoted to mystery authors, and we created what's called Mystery Writers of America University, which is sort of a traveling roadshow of various authors who go from city to city teaching how to write mysteries. So Reed Farrell Coleman and Dan Stashauer and Sarah Paretsky and Nancy Pickard, and a lot of and I teach the writing life. And we just go from city to city revealing that. We'll be in Boston, I can tell you, in February. It's open to the public. Okay. So watch my website for where that's going to be.
Yes,
it's a fantastic
They can go to HankPhillippiRyan.com.
Cleverly named.
Exactly. I love how you changed the mission statement. That is a very
Empowering.
Yes. Well, that's not the word that came to mind, but I can't say that on the air. Clearly, you have found balance with everything that you are doing.
Oh, I fooled you, Nicole.
I
fooled you.
You are, whatever you're doing, it's working.
Well, thank you. Balance,
I mean,
that's
every
interesting.
year you're coming out with a new book.
That is extraordinary, and knock on wood that continues. There is nothing better. There's nothing as magical or joyous as sitting down in my study and seeing what will happen next. I don't work with an outline in my books.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know. The only way I can tell the story is by sitting down and typing and seeing what happens next. So people say to me, wow, The Wrong Girl, you really surprised me with that ending. And I say, yeah, wasn't that a surprise? Surprised me too. Talk about a surprise ending. I surprised myself. And I surprise myself every day at my typewriter, at my computer, spinning out those stories. After all these years, I finally get to make stuff up.
Oh, I think that's great. That's the way to do it, not in the real news. This is the way to do it.
Well,
I
love both. I still am devoted to my life as an investigative reporter. When I'm on book tour, sometimes I went to the NBC affiliate in Denver and the NBC affiliate in Phoenix and fed back tracks and worked on scripts. So I don't know about balance, but I do know that someone said to me once, what would you name your autobiography? And I said, I'd call it The Juggler, because I'm pretty good at juggling a lot of things.
Oh, that's great. Oh my gosh. And you have grandkids. I mean, you're traveling a lot.
I'm traveling a lot. I laugh every day. When I'm on book tour, I am in a different city every morning. And I wake up in a hotel, and honestly, there are days when I think,
you don't know where you're at.
I don't know where I am. And then I burst out laughing because I think, how funny is that? How lucky am I to be? I mean, it is grueling and it is difficult, but it is so much fun. I walk through airports, trundling my little rolling suitcase, and I'm singing to myself, Magical Mystery Tour. Roll up for the mystery tour, because here I am getting to talk to people all over the country about books that I love and about mysteries and about this new life. What it's like to have a wonderful career that I've worked so hard on for so many years, and then to have yet another one, in the second half of my life. It is amazing.
An encore career. Well, we are out of time.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes, we are. You can find all of Hank's information about her upcoming events at HankPhillippiRyan.com. I want to thank you for being here today. She is so much more than a well-seasoned investigative reporter. She is an incredibly talented writer, and you can go to Hank Phillippi Ryan again, HankPhillippiRyan.com, to find more about her books, news, blogging, and all of the upcoming events. I want to thank you for listening and recognizing all of these powerful women, such as Hank. You can find all of us at facebook.com/powerfulwomenrevealed. I hope you will tune in again next Sunday after the news at noon. Have a great week, and remember, knowledge is power.